Just place right hand on the navel, left hand over top, crossing the thumbs like this. Just place the mantra in your navel, into the spine. Put it into the spine, the backbone. From the top of the head, all the way down the spine, out the perineum, into the earth. Ascend and descend. Listen closely. Understand the mantra, decipher it. Learn its language. So the navel is the anchoring force, the anchoring. We want to anchor this new awareness into the body. Feel the warmth of the palms stabilizing the navel so that you may have a consistent, stable mind where you don't have the whiplash, the pendulum, the constant whirlwind of your instability in the mind. Focus, roll the eyes back, down the spine, into the navel, and see the frameworks of your house. The frameworks of your house. See the hips, right hip, left hip as a framework. See the pelvis and see the spine as a framework. Like a house with a wall to the east, to the west, to the north, to the south. See yourself in this 4 pillars, these 4 pillars. A pillar that is the right hip, a pillar behind, clockwise moving behind is the spine. Rotating clockwise is the left hip, is a pillar. And then moving clockwise to the front, you have the pelvis. The pelvic is a pillar. So rotate around the lower body. See the pillar that is your right hip. The right hip, is it stable? Is it durable? Flexible? You want it to be like a tree. It has sway. It has a sort of flexibility. See the spine, rotate clockwise with your eye. See the spine, the backbone as a pillar. Is it like a trunk of a tree? Is it flexible, durable? Then rotate towards the left hip. The left hip, see that pillar from the left hip all the way down to the toe, to the heel, to the ankle. The hip aligns the ankle. Is it flexible, durable, like a trunk of a tree? And then see the pelvis in front of you as a pillar. Is that flexible? Is that equalized? So go around your framework of the lower body, your house. Your house is on the framework of the hips, the spine, the pelvis. The biggest joint. See the house. Your whole chakra system is on the framework, the basement of the hips, the spine, and the pelvis. So go down, down into the basement, into the framework in which your chakra system is on top of, like building blocks. And make sure that the frameworks, the pillars in which your chakra systems is building blocks on top of, is secure. When your house has frameworks that are durable, strong, flexible, your house is very stable. With framework to the house that is very wobbly, disjointed, wanky, your house is unstable. So focusing on the navel, see the navel pulling up on the frameworks, pulling up on any broken, disjointed, wanky frameworks to the house, the basement, and see the navel pulling up these frameworks, putting it in together, putting the pillars together. If they're off, if they're falling, if they're brittle, see the navel realigning both hips, aligning the spine and the pelvis. Focus on the navel. Let the navel do its job. Repair the frameworks. Renovate the frameworks of your house through realigning the hips, the spine, the pelvis, so that you have a trunk, so that the channel of the top of the head to the perineum is like a trunk, flexible, lubricated, with a flow, a circulation, with thick skin, with lush, plump organs. That's very, very durable, stable, consistent, and reliable. Now begin to chant from the hips, the spine, the lower spine, and the pelvis. Chant from the primal force. Chant from the primal, sexual, sensual force. Prabhuti, Namo Namo. So feel it in the bass, the baseline frequency. Kundalini Mari Shakti, Kundalini Mari Shakti, Kundalini. Namo Namo. Namo Namo Adi Shakti, Adi Shakti, Adi Shakti. Namo Namo Sarabha Shakti, Sarabha Shakti, Sarabha Shakti. Namo Namo Kun Pratam Bhavati, Pratam Bhavati, Pratam Bhavati. Namo Namo Kundalini Mari Shakti, Kundalini Mari Shakti. Namo 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 Shakti, Adi Shakti, Adi Shakti, Namo Namo, Sarva Shakti, Sarva Shakti, Sarva Shakti, Namo Namo, Pritam Bhavati, Pritam Bhavati, Pritam Bhavati, Namo Namo, Kundalini Mari Shakti, Kundalini Mari Shakti, Namo Namo, Namo Namo, Adi Shakti, Adi Shakti, Adi Shakti, Namo Namo, Sarva Shakti, Sarva Shakti, Sarva Shakti, Namo Namo, Pritam Bhavati, Pritam Bhavati, Pritam Bhavati, Namo Namo, Kundalini Mari Shakti, Kundalini Mari Shakti, Namo Namo, Namo Namo, Adi Shakti, Adi Shakti, Adi Shakti, Namo Namo, Sarva Shakti, Sarva Shakti, Sarva Shakti, Namo Namo, Pritam Bhavati, Pritam Bhavati, Pritam Bhavati, Namo Namo, Kundalini Mari Shakti, Kundalini Mari Shakti, Namo Namo, Namo Namo, Adi Shakti, Adi Shakti, Adi Shakti, Namo Namo, Sarva Shakti, Sarva Shakti, Sarva Shakti, Namo Namo, Pritam Bhavati, Pritam Bhavati, Pritam Bhavati, Namo Namo, Kundalini Mari Shakti, Kundalini Mari Shakti, Namo Namo, Namo Namo, Namo, Namo Namo. Inhale, exhale. Bring your hands back into Gyan Mudra. So now we're going to do this quick, this meditation. This is imagination to help you evolve your imagination. And this meditation is sort of we call from the SIRIUS system, right? SIRIUS system. So what is the SIRIUS system, right? Ancient Egypt had this sort of supreme understanding of geometry, right? Sacred geometry. But they also had an understanding of the geometry of the body. So a lot of the ancient Egyptian sort of spirituality was very much about the geomancy, the geometry of the body, right? And what we did right there with that meditation, with working with the 4 pillars of the basement, the frameworks of your body, is very much an ancient Egyptian sort of meditation practice, right? Of finding the sort of the geometric harmonization sort of balance of yourself so that you can have that homeostasis, right? And that finding that sort of, that sacred geometry of the body was also promoted emotional well-being, because a lot of the raising of your kundalini, raising of your vibration into higher levels of wisdom, knowledge, it really happens at the emotional level. But a lot of times the emotional level can't really get that sort of higher frequency, because the body is not, you can say the body doesn't have this sort of geometry to be able to hold that emotional frequency. So a lot of the ancient Egyptians would work on the sort of geometry of the body when it came to the hips, the pelvis, the spine. They worked a lot with that, because the more, you could say, geometrically sound the body was, the more you could sustain a higher emotional frequency that would give you a greater sort of, knowledge and wisdom, right? It's through the emotional body that we get the wisdom of the universe. So just close your eyes, tap into the body through the soft spot of the head. So go above the head and see a white sun. About 8 feet above your head, there is a white sun called the Merkaba, the Akashic record. A 5-point star, a sun, spiraling energy down towards the soft spot of the head. See it dropping into the head, into the spine, and then see it anchoring at the navel. See that the navel is accumulating the energy, holding the energy in the navel like a great yellow sun, holding energy together, stabilizing energy together, reserve of powerful energy like a nuclear bomb, very powerful energy, very powerful solar energy. And then see it going down, this white energy moving further down the tunnel, out through the perineum, and see there's a tunnel that goes down into the earth. Down into the earth, there is a tunnel that connects you to the deeper earth, and see the line of energy going down, descending even further down, anchoring you on the physical plane. Now come back up the tunnel, come back up the earth, come back into the perineum, come back up the spine, the chakra systems, from the first chakra, second chakra, third chakra, and then anchor your awareness at the heart. Return it to the heart. Now, from the heart, go down from the center, the heart, the point of intention, and the deep thymus, the centermost point of you, the deepest point of you, Go down to the right hip. Down to the right hip. From the center of the heart going down to the right hip. Now see the right hip as the father. The father, the masculine. See it as the masculine part of you. We put a foot forward. We put the right foot forward as in taking charge, taking action, being precise, being determined, getting things done, being disciplined, being reliable, a stronghold. And then rotate back clockwise. Then go to the left hip. See the left hip. Left hip. See the left hip as the mother. The left hip is the mother. The mother. See it as when you put the left foot forward, you're saying, I am receptive. I believe in myself. I have courage. I have self-respect. I know my worth. I am intuitively led. I follow my heart. I'm a dreamer. I'm a visionary. I trust myself. Now go back up to the center of the heart. From the left hip, go back up to the center of the heart. The thymus gland to the center gem. The gem, your intention. Now from the intention, see your heart shining a little brighter with the balance of both hips. Feel the heart a little bit more harmonic, stabilized frequency, a higher frequency. Now go down the center Sushumna channel, go down to the pelvis. Down from the thymus, down the chakras, solar plexus, the navel, all the way, the reproductive, all the way to the pelvis. And now see the rotation. See you rotating clockwise around yourself. See the pelvis rotating you around the axis, the spits, the tunnel that ascends to the cosmos and descends to the earth. And just see yourself rotating the pelvis around clockwise, round towards the father, back towards the mother, around towards the father, back towards the mother, around towards the father, back towards the mother, rotating clockwise. Now steady your awareness on the pelvis and see it breathing. Breathing. See it breathing. This is the primal breath. See it breathing. See it breathing like sexual energy is breathing, venting through the pelvis area. Feel the sexual heat, venting, cooling, moving. And then put the awareness of the pelvis back. Go straight through the body, penetrate straight through the body from the pelvis all the way to the spine, to the tailbone. The tailbone. See the tailbone now? See the tailbone? See the tailbone? See it as the building block, the first building block to the chakra system as you ascend up into the neck. See it as the first building block. Now go up the spine, all the way up to the top of the spine, the neck, the back of the neck, to the top of the spine. and then through the top of the spine, penetrate through the brain, up, up, up through the brain, and then penetrate directly out through the third eye. Directly penetrating up and then out through the third eye, seeing that 90-degree angle in the energy moving up the brain, out directly through the space between the eyebrows. And see the third eye as the point of incarnational desire, mastery, study, and mission. And then draw that energy back into the third eye. Draw that energy back into the third eye. Bring it to the right eye, the right eye. Heal the right eye. And then shoot it down the right body, all the way down the right side of the body, all the way down the right hip, down the right thigh, the right knee, all the way to the right ankle, all the way to the sole of the foot of the right leg. And then shoot it across to the left sole of the foot, left sole of the foot. And then travel up, shoot up from the ankle, knee, left hip, all the way up the left side of the body into the left eye. Shoot up to the left eye. And then bring the awareness, shoot it to the nose and breathe. Feel the awareness of the breath, the nose. And then let it fall like rain back into the heart. Back into the heart as you feel the nose, the prana of the nostrils leading you back to the heart, where the diaphragm holds the heart. The diaphragm is the container for the heart chakra. And breathe into the heart and feel the expansion of your aura, the total you, as you expand and contract the chest. And then one big breath, inhale, inflate the chest. Expand the aura, 18 miles in all directions with the biggest breath. And then as you exhale, you're going to bring it all back in, suck it up from the perineum, suck it all up. And bring it right into all the chakra, the whole chakra. One chakra. Exhale. Hold the out breath, suck it up. And feel it going into each and every chakra. Each and every chakra, each and every chakra. Feeling the balance of the scales. Inhale. Exhale. You can open your eyes. So that is a meditation very much inspired by Katona Yoga, which Katona Yoga is very Egyptian, very ancient Egyptian. And this particular meditation is very much connected to, like I said, the SIRIUS system, which again, a lot of Egyptians are from the SIRIUS system, right? A lot of ancient Egypt is originated from the SIRIUS system. In a lot of the ancient Egyptian sort of theology, spirituality, sort of culture, and just lifestyle was all influenced by geomancy, sacred geometry, all influenced by even architectural design was geometric. the sort of cyclical routine is geometric, right? They were very precise in their positioning of their buildings, their businesses, the hours of the day, when they eat food, and when they pray, meditate, community, events, ceremonies, rituals. It was all sort of geometrically sound with the kind of the cosmic sort of picture in the sky. They very much looked at the picture of the sky, and then they would basically make the sort of geometric sort of mirror of that, right? The mirror of that in the way of creating the environment that was very much a mirror reflection of the sort of cosmic geometry, right? So that meditation, you have to focus, you have to listen, and that's good, because everything about imagination is how well you can listen, how well you can concentrate, and how well you can participate, right? How well you can listen, how well you can concentrate, how well you participate, all determines how refined and how big your imagination is. You can listen, you can concentrate, and wells you can participate. So a lot of people have difficulty listening, therefore they kind of doze off and they get off track, and then concentrating, they can't really visualize, they can't really, the openness of the mind, they can't really sort of receive it. And then also when it comes to participating, some people have a resistance or sort of an unwillingness to really participate, right? They have some sort of belief or sort of some stubbornness that has them like, I don't, want to do that, right? And that creates a delay, that creates a sort of a limit or restriction on the amount of large imagination you can have. And geomancy, geometry is basically the birthing ground for how to become more imaginative, how to become more creative as a human species and as just an individual. Because the more geometrically sound the body is, the more you can raise the frequency of your heart. And when you raise the frequency of your heart, that is where a lot of creativity is born. So ancient Egypt, they were very much about raising the frequency of the emotions, right? Emotional maturity. And they understood that you can't do that with a wanky body. You can't do that when your endocrine system is like depleted and your navel is wanky and you have hormonal imbalances. You really can't emotionally mature when you have that kind of state in the body. So they understood there's a direct correlation with emotional, maturity and raising the frequency of the emotion with how stable the body is, right? Flexibility wise and agility and just this sacred geometry of it, meaning the hips, they have an alignment, they have a dance with each other. When you walk, it's like a dance. It's not a sort of pain and tension, right? The shoulders, we work with the spine, right? Work with the pelvis and the rotation of you to be able to move around yourself so you're not stuck in yourself, right? You want to move around yourself so you're not stuck in yourself, right? And how lubricated the joints are, especially the hips, the ankles, the wrists, even the elbows, really working with that. And when you have a sort of, you can say, populace that has that sort of geometric stability, there's a higher chance of these people having emotional maturity, having a higher frequency of emotions, and therefore having, in the higher frequency of emotion, you're more heartfelt, right? You also have a heightened intuition, a heightened imagination. You also have a more prolific creativity, because your imagination is more concrete, it's more consolidated, it's more integrated in the physical body. Meaning you can listen, you can concentrate, you can participate with a sense of non-attachment, and with a sense of being able to move through yourself, move around yourself, move into the obstacles, move through the obstacles, and not get stuck in it, not get stuck in a problem and just banging your head on the wall type of thing, not getting stuck in it. You have a way to move through it. And that's what geometry is. The whole rotation of the cosmos around, Earth is all about the movement. Geometry is the movement, the planetary progression, the movement through different eras and different ages, and how you're able to triumph and reach a victory, and sort of maneuver through the obstacles, the challenges, the frictions, the period of dark, the period of light, so that every experience becomes one of a changing mandala, right? Rather than a degrading mandala, or a stagnant mandala, or a fuzzy mandala, or a disjointed and mandala, or a wanky mandala. It becomes a shifting mandala, where it still keeps its consistency, its continuity, but then it shifts, right, into a different form, and it does it easefully. And that form it shifts to is not lesser or better. It just shifts into a new expression, right? And that's what the body is there to help you, even when you die, is to help you shift into a different mandala, a different expression that isn't less or better, right? And those people who have that kind of imagination know, like when they die, oh, I know how to shift my energy into a new mandala, right? And a part of being physical is about, you are a mandala, but you need to know how to shift it, because you can't just keep it as it is. It's geometry. Geometry is constantly moving. Shapes, patterns, constantly reorganizing. And what happens as human beings is the endocrine system gets completely drained. The hips get wanky, and what happens is our mandala, over the years in our chronology, it starts to like degrade, gets fuzzy, it gets sort of disjointed and wanky and distorted, right? Because the body, right, we get older, and then we start to let the body go, and stuff like that, and then that geometry, the mandala, starts to go with it. But we want the mandala through each chronology, either you're 20, 30, 50, whatever, you're in a different mandala. It's not less or better than when you were 10 or 15 or 25, right? It's just a new expression, right? So you want to keep, even at 85, you want to still keep a mandala that has the emotional high frequency. You don't want to be 80 and then your mandala is like really fuzzy, right? Because with the fourth day of the moon, the manifestation of you is basically about how magnetic your mandala is, and how impactful and how sort of commanding it is on this planet, right? And when we have a fuzzy mandala, it's doesn't really have a strong magnetic sort of pull on the earth grid, right? And that's what manifestation is. That's what you came into the physical body. You magnetized the facial features, the life you have, even the challenges you have. You all kind of brought that in, and you demagnetize things all the time. When you grow up and learn your lessons and raise your self-worth, you demagnetize these patterns of like traumas or sort of habits or behaviors from past lives. So I just wanted to share this sort of serious kind of understanding that they were very much this sort of race of humanoid or beings. They were very much into sacred geometry, but they were also into, again, yogic science, because the part of the geometry of the body is about, you need to know how to origami the body, and that's yogic science, right? And that's a part of the imagination practice, is knowing how to origami, knowing how to fold the body, knowing how to use your imagination to put your body in positions that are going to enhance your body's ability to shift into different forms, because your body can take basically infinite forms. When we look at yogic science, Kundalini yoga, when we look at any form of yoga, when we look at Qigong, Tai Chi, I mean, there's so many movements, right? Hawaiian dance, African dance, their Indonesian dance, like there's so many movements. There's like infinite movements your body can do. It's just a matter of fact of having the imagination to be able to put yourself into new positions, which will keep the circulation of you in the mandala of you always in a state of renewal, rather than a state of stuck doing the same thing and then it gets degraded, right? When your mandala has a sort of, the movements of you, right? The consistent movements of you, what happens is you get emotional maturity. Your frequency of your emotion starts to rise, and therefore you use your imagination to start to cultivate, philosophy and virtue and compassion, and you start to really come into your inner philosophy, your inner child, which is about you having your own philosophy, your own spirituality, your own sort of virtues, you knowing your character, your value, right? And then you putting that out into the world through your mandala, right? Your emotional maturity. That is about you relating to yourself, to others, and to the world in a place, in a state of having the maneuvering movement to be able to mediate through the challenge, through the setback, through the whirlwind, through the pendulum, through whatever it is, to know how to maneuver movement through the body, through the relationship, through the entity, right? To get, sort of multiple dimensions of how to kind of maneuver multiple dimensions of you, multiple dimensions of your relationship into greater expressions of harmony. And that is all about knowing the geometry of the physical body. So we're just going to tune out with one long sat and one short nam. So rub the hands together. Inhale, exhale, inhale to chant. Sat nam. Inhale, bow to yourself. Exhale, thank you for joining me in Sat Nam.